All right, here we go. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Reyes Reflection Podcast. There are a lot of options out there, so I appreciate that you make me one of them. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, I'm Nathanael Reyes. Same thing with subscribing and following me. Just click that button, okay? The best things in life are free, so follow me on the socials and subscribing to the pod. They're free. I have to give some love to my partners, Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare. BYOB has its own name here. It's Build Your Own Bundle. You can go ahead and create your own bundle today and use promo code Reyes Reflection to save 20%. And Jocko Fuel, clean fuel, raw and natural ingredients, save 10% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. Now, on to the introduction of my guest. First experiences are absolutely amazing. First time jumping into a pool on a hot summer day feels like liquid euphoria. Your first day of school where you're kind of nervous, but you're excited at the same time. Being on the very first Team Reba, which is what my guest is. She is also a University of Michigan alumni, a yoga instructor, a singer, songwriter. You can listen to many singles such as White Tab, Red Dress, and more. She is a contestant of season 24 of The Voice, mental health advocate, and we're going to unpack all of this in this episode. So without further ado, Alison Albrecht, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Of course. I wrote that intro myself. All right.
Wow, I know it's so kind. Thank you so much for writing that. That's so sweet.
Yeah, I didn't have any help. No, just kidding.
All on your own. That's great.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining me. So I wanted to have you on the show because a lot of times when they promote the person on The Voice, they show a little bit about them, but you were slightly different.
Yes.
On TV, they only showed a little snippet of who you are. So this is your platform to be able to tell the world who you are, okay? So before we get into anything, you've lived in Michigan, or you live in Michigan, is that correct? What is...
I currently live in LA, but I was born in Michigan and I lived there through I graduated undergrad. So
And you went to the University of Michigan, right?
I went to the University of Michigan, got my bachelor's degree, and then I graduated in May, and then that following August is when I moved out to Los Angeles.
Is that the Wolverines?
The Wolverines,
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
All
Go
right.
Blue.
There you go. I was hoping I was correct. Okay.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, no, they're big on school pride, and we definitely. I'm a huge Michigan fan, so.
Well, there's a rivalry with Michigan State there, isn't there?
The game is coming up soon, and it's a big rivalry. But this year, we're pretty confident we're going to come out victorious this year. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
What did you get your undergrad in?
So I got my bachelor's degree in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience, which was my degree. And then I minored in music business and social work. So just a multidisciplinary degree that combined mental health and music and studying the brain.
Which seems like it's right up your avenue. As I mentioned,
Yes.
A lot of your content is music-based, but it's also wellness, mental wellness, which I think is
Totally.
very awesome. I saw that you're a yoga instructor. How have you been able to use that? And I think I saw one video where you said that you use yoga to help your mental fortitude and mental clarity.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I started doing yoga when I was in college, really struggling with anxiety and feeling really out of control, and didn't really think that it would help me, but just started taking classes consistently, and I really found myself feeling so much more grounded, so much more less reactive, more calm, and I really found it to be really beneficial. So that's why in 2020 I really started doing yoga during the pandemic, and I got my teaching certificate in 2021 and taught my last year undergrad. And I really love the fact that I can help other people feel the same way that, yoga has helped me feel more grounded, more connected to themselves, and just sort of in charge of their health and their body.
I've done Pilates classes. What's the difference between yoga and Pilates? Is there a difference or yes?
Good question. There's a lot of different kinds of yoga. So yoga's not a one type of class. There's a lot of different ones. The kind that I teach is vinyasa, which I would say is the most similar to a Pilates class in my experience. But the biggest difference that I feel like is yoga really has a sort of more spiritual background. It's not connected to any kind of religion or anything. You don't even have to be spiritual to take yoga, but I really do think the difference is yoga focuses most on the breath and themes of connectedness, whereas Pilates can, depending on your teacher, but Pilates is more smaller movements just to complete an exercise. I love Pilates classes. I take Pilates classes too. And a lot of the same Pilates moves people will use in vinyasa-based yoga, some of the core exercises, and they're kind of in the same family. But I would say yoga is a little bit more fluid, moving through motions, and a little bit more spiritual too.
So Pilates is like the cousin almost.
Yeah. I would say
fair?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
And in LA, they all kind of blur together a little bit. People might hate that I say that, but it's kind of true.
That's all right. We'll cut this out. No. What's the thing at the end of a yoga class where you have your eyes closed for a while and it's amazing? Because I did feel grounded and I did feel centered. But at the end of a class when I don't want to say they have you like nap, like that's
No,
incorrect. But
yes, you're resting, laying on the floor. It's called Shavasana. And that's where you're laying on your back with your eyes closed, palms facing up, and you just are basking in the class that you just took. And one of the most beautiful things is you can't have that amazing feeling of Shavasana, the same feeling, without the asana practice, the yoga practice that's come before it. And of course, you can practice Shavasana anytime. You really can just lay there and be and exist. But it's a really beautiful thing to feel that way after taking, a yoga class prior.
yeah, especially after a tough workout too. Because I know there's hot
Oh,
yoga
yeah.
too. There's hot yoga, which is where you're purposefully in like a 90s, a regulated temperature room. That yes,
Yeah,
I did.
it's intense.
I did one time. I did a regulated temperature, like a hot bicycle class, and I almost passed out. That was brutal.
The heat is a lot. Your body also has to get used to it. So my first hot yoga class, I just was trying not to freak out the whole time. Like I felt like I was going to pass out. I was really just, my body was like, what are we doing? Like, what, like, why are you in this room? But over time you get used to it. And now I have to have the heat. Like I love it. So you just have to let your body adjust to the heat.
Well, thank you so much for sharing some insight from a yogi instructor. Yes, yes. So let's transition now. So as I mentioned in the intro, you are a mental health advocate. That is something that you constantly promote on your social medias, which I think, like all things in life, there can be people that agree with you, disagree with you, whatever. What does it mean to you to promote it? And now that you have this platform of being on The Voice, which we'll get into in a few short moments, but what does it mean to you to be able to say your input about mental health and what it means to you?
Yeah. Well, my whole life since I was little, I wanted to be a musician. That's the thing I remember most. But I always wanted to do it with a greater purpose, and connecting with other people is really what I'm passionate about. And I think music does that in a really unique way. So as a musician, not only do I like to write songs, but just as who I am, really be a strong advocate for mental health, because it's something that I've struggled with throughout my life. It's something that I've seen friends and helped them work through, and family members. I have a strong family history of different mental health issues. And I really think talking about it and sharing my own experiences may have the opportunity to make others feel not alone. And I know that's what a lot of other advocates say as well, but I've noticed it firsthand and experienced it when I think I was 15 or 16. I was playing a festival in the Detroit area, and one of my songs had recently been on the radio. It was a song called Not Alone. I wrote it when I was 14, and it got on the radio in Michigan. And it was a song about feeling so unbelievably low. I was really struggling with depression, and when I was in middle school, and wrote this song about sort of having a moment where I knew it would get better. I just didn't know when. And that song got on the radio, and a father and a son had heard it on the radio and were so moved by it that they drove almost 2 hours to come to this festival to come hear me play it live and meet me and say how much that meant to them. And that was a turning point for me in my life, in my career. I mean, that was like one of the coolest things that I've experienced. And for me to be writing about mental health as a young person, I think too, young people experience mental health issues, whether you're in elementary school, middle school. I think I've always felt like an anxious person. And when I dealt with, other things, but I didn't know what it was when I was younger. So I think being outspoken about those things, and it's just authentic and real to who I am. So that's why it's important to be an advocate in my artistry.
It's really brave of you because it shows a sense of vulnerability. And I don't think a lot of people are okay with that at times. And I
Yeah,
think they're afraid of just outside perspectives and opinions.
totally.
So I just want to commend you on that because I
Thank
think that
you.
that's incredibly brave and that you use your platform and you also use your talents of music to help you. And when you hear those stories, it makes it all worth it. When you
Yeah.
hear those things of other people reaching out to you or following you now and they're fans of you, I think that's what makes it worth it. Even I always like to say, even if it reaches one person, it still reached that one
Yeah,
person.
absolutely. For
So
sure.
so the fact that like I know we live in a society unfortunately where it's all about clicks, likes, views,
Of course.
saves, but I think if just one that can change, that can move the needle. That can
Yeah.
change the dynamic. So I really want to say that that's incredibly brave of you. I appreciate that you opened up even here on this platform, even though we met 15, 20 minutes ago off camera and you were just so vulnerable. So I really
Thank
appreciate you doing that. And that's what we do on the Raise Reflection. It's basically like you're
Yeah,
talking, I always say it's like you're talking to your friend in class who's the guy next to you. So
totally. Yeah, I love that.
I,
Yeah, and I just think like the more that I show, my audience, myself, and what I'm passionate about and excited about, that's how I've really been able to connect with people. And I just think I don't know how to do it, any other way. So
and you're doing the right thing. Like I said, one person reaches out to, so keep it up. So let's transition into your time on The Voice now.
yeah.
You had mentioned that you have played in some festivals. I also had seen some videos of you performing in different venues in LA.
Mhm.
Did that help you prepare for your time on The Voice?
Yeah, most definitely. So I started performing when I was 9 officially, but I really started booking shows at the old age of 12. And I would email places in Detroit and just try and get gigs. So I'd been gigging since I was, in middle
You
school.
did this as
And
a 12-year-old?
yes, when I was 12, I went on Yelp or TripAdvisor and I Googled live music Detroit and I emailed every restaurant that came up that said that they had live music. And I said, I'm Allison, I'm 12, I have,
That is
if I said I was 12.
incredible.
And I was like, and I can play covers, I can play 2 hours of songs, I play guitar. Please let me sing at your restaurant. And only one restaurant responded. And they booked me for my first gig for 2 hours. And I sang outside in downtown Detroit, playing like Viva La Vida by Coldplay and,
Do you know the
whatever other
restaurant's name?
covers. It was called the Fountain Bistro, but it's now called Park in
Shout
downtown Detroit.
shout him out.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, they got me my very first gig, and yeah, so I gigged all through high school, all through college, and then when I got to LA, of course, just even before I moved, I did the same thing. I looked up venues in LA and submitted to shows even before I moved here because I knew, venues book out months in advance. So I wanted to, right when I got to LA, have shows lined up. So I've been doing that since I was young, and so the Voice seemed like and was the biggest stage. It was like all of those years of preparation had prepared me for that moment because it was a culmination of a lot of hard work for sure.
I just find it incredible that you did this at such a young age. And I think a lot of times people view young individuals as dumb or they don't know enough. And when I hear this, I'm like, wow, that is really intelligent that you went ahead and you're like, I'm going to go ahead and just find the restaurants, reach out to them myself, put myself out there. That is just really, that's super cool. Like I'm marveling at it. That's awesome.
It's interesting now. It's being an artist, there's so many aspects to take charge of. What really helps me stay motivated sometimes is I was like, think about that 12-year-old girl that was just like, I don't have any shows. I don't care. I'm just going to email everybody. And I think that same kind of determination is what I try to channel now in my career growth. It's like, that's, how you grow. It's just being, resilient and trying to get stuff out there.
In some ways, it's almost like we need to revert back to that younger self because
Yeah.
you like yes, you are insecure about certain things, but I feel like now as you get older you understand nuances of life and you understand
Yes.
uh,
100%.
people, so you start to get more insecure Whereas I feel
Yes.
like when you're 12, 13, I know myself, I would
I was
just,
fearless. Yes.
same.
Yes. I mean, and I was definitely insecure about some things then, but in the grand scheme of things, I was so fearless.
Yep.
I like sang at a jazz club in New York when I was 11. And I remember thinking about doing that as an adult and I like reaching back out and being like, hey, can I perform? And I was so scared, like, because when I was 11, I'm like, oh, I can just go up there and sing, like, it'd be fine. But now I'm like, oh gosh, like, should I be going to this jazz club and singing?
You're like, no,
Um,
I couldn't. I could. Well,
right.
it kind of reminds me of that Adam Sandler movie when he says, if you look back at your younger self will kick your older self's butt
Yes.
because
Yes.
you are fearless, you are willing to take those risks, and so I think we do need to revert back to that at times. I think you've
Absolutely.
inspired me to also do some risks myself because now
Good.
as I'm doing this, I sometimes am afraid of certain things and is this going to appear
Yeah,
cringy or what have you, and now I'm sitting here going, you know
totally.
what, 14-year-old Nathanael wouldn't really care. He would just do
Never.
it. He would
You
do
just
it.
do it. Right. Exactly. It's like tapping into my younger self because, the dream is honestly still the same. The dream is to connect with people
Right.
and create great music and, have a really fulfilling life and career. Those are all the same things that I wanted when I was 14. I think now it's a little more complicated now, but, I still need to get back into that just as I did when I was younger.
We're gonna hold each other accountable on this.
Yeah,
We're gonna sit there
absolutely.
and go,
Absolutely.
hey, what have you been doing lately to revert back to your younger self? I
Yes,
love it.
exactly.
We hold each other accountable here. I think I saw a clip or a video or a picture of you singing the Star Spangled Banner too at
Mhm.
was it a Detroit Tigers game?
Yeah, it was at a Detroit Tigers game, and before The Voice, that was the biggest audience that I had performed in front of. It was like a full baseball stadium, and I was in high school, and I was really nervous for that too.
How did that become a reality? How did you get reached out to by that?
I did because I had won a contest in Detroit the year prior. That was the prize package was an artist development package. So EP, I got an EP created for me. Like I worked with a producer to create an EP. I got booking consultation. I got some marketing help. And then through that, the person that headed the marketing team with this contest, she had a connect at the Tigers. And then I sent in a couple of audition videos and I booked the slot and it was crazy. Everybody I knew when I at that time came, like so many people from high school, my whole family, and it was a really amazing day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You've had some really cool experiences. You really have. That's awesome. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah.
When did getting on The Voice become a reality for you? When was this something that you were like, I'm going to try to get on this show to show my talents?
Well, I'd moved to LA in the fall, and at that point, music became my main focus because before that I was always in school. And so I'd love doing music, but it never was my full-time focus. So I moved to LA. I'm gigging, I'm writing, and I thought about, what's a way that I could really reach people with my music. And I've been a fan of The Voice. I'd been following the most recent season and I thought, why don't I try and go for it? So I actually submitted an audition through the open call. And then a week later, someone from casting had DM'd me, not knowing I'd submitted, and was like, hey, would you consider applying for The Voice? And I was like, oh, I'm actually a part of the casting process already. So
That's
it's kind of
so
a
cool.
serendipitous way where, like, if I hadn't reached out to them, they would have reached out to me anyway. It was like kind of meant to be. It was crazy. So that all happened in January of this past year, 2023. And I was cast in March and was filming by June. So it was crazy.
Wow, that is really cool. I've seen it. I've seen the little ads for them, and I've always thought to do it, but I'm a terrible
Yeah.
singer, and I want people to enjoy music, not hate music, and I would make them unfortunately hate it. That's never been something I'm good at, singing and dancing. Although I love to
Mm.
dance, I'm just not good at. I love to do
You
both
do not have to
actually.
be good at dancing to dance. You also don't have to be good at singing to sing. Like, it's so joyful that like you don't have to put the pressure of like being good at it
See,
on it to
when
enjoy
I'm in
it.
the car alone and nobody's around me, I feel
Yeah.
like I sound incredible.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's that.
Uh,
Oh man, we can laugh at ourselves. You sung "Ironic" by
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette. Very tough song. Why did
Yeah.
you choose that song?
I chose that song because I'd performed at gigging since I was in high school. It was one that I'd played with a band at festivals so many times. And I also thought it was one that really showed off my range. It has really rich low parts and then a belty high chorus. And then, I'm a songwriter and I really connected to the storytelling of that song. It's one of my favorite songs for that reason. And, why I love Alanis Morissette so much too. It's, yeah, I thought it would be a great one to showcase all those things.
No, she is very talented and has that, I don't want to say grunge, but has this way of how she's performing. Just it sounds rough, but it also sounds soft at the same time. It's hard.
Totally.
It's like I don't know how to explain it because there are sometimes where I hear her songs and I'm like, wow, she sounds like she's like mad, but it's not a mad song. And then she
No,
sounds
not at all. She's just a powerhouse. That's how I
yes.
describe it. She's just got this like bold rock voice that just cuts through the track. She's incredible. She's definitely a huge inspiration of mine.
What would you say is your most comfortable style singing?
I would say um, pop music that leans folk, that also leans soul. So that's sort of how I describe my style is folk, pop, soul. I really think storytelling is huge for me. I grew up also doing musical theater. That's what my vocal training is in. So I was trained in musical theater up and all through high school. And so songs that really tell a story and really are emotional with audiences. Those are my most favorite songs. And it's interesting, it doesn't have to be a slow ballad for it to be connecting, even though that doesn't, you might associate emotion with ballad. I think any song that's like just really, really communicating with an audience is kind of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're right because there are some songs that you would think that the way that they start sounds sad, but then it ends up being a pop song or something like that. And so
Yeah.
you're right. I think that's a beautiful thing that connects people is music. I've always said that the two things that connect people, regardless of backgrounds, culture differences, is music and sports. And I just love
Yes.
whenever I
It's
go to
so true.
whenever I go to a concert, I can be standing next to someone. We're both singing off pitch the lyrics to a song, and
Yeah.
arm around them. Never met them before, but then it's
Yeah.
just moments that you can share. And I think music has a good way of doing that. So I think that that's really cool that that's what you do as well.
Yeah.
Reba McEntire, the queen, turned around for you, the queen of
Yes.
country. What was that like? Because I know they didn't air too much of that. So I want to hear from
Yeah.
you, Allison. What was that like to have her turn around for you?
It was unbelievable. She turned around honestly pretty quickly. I just sang the verse, and the second it was over, she turned around. And I just remember a whole rush of adrenaline entered my body. And I'm like, oh my God, you have to keep singing the song. And because that they're there, you just see the backs of their chairs. It's just like you watch it on TV, but you're actually living it. It's a very surreal moment. And the thing that went through my head was, oh my God, you're on the show. Because even though whether you get one chair or four chairs, you're on the show no matter what. And that was really that was my goal. That's what I wanted. I really wanted to be on the show. So to have gotten Reba to turn was everything.
That's beautifully said. Before we do some burning questions, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's struggling with either their confidence, mental health, what have you,
Yeah.
that wants to be on the show, that wants to be, maybe not even on the show, wants to use music as an outlet? What is
Mm.
a piece of advice that you would give to someone in that predicament?
I would just say music is a way to not only connect with others, but really to connect with yourself. And if you're struggling with the confidence to put out songs, you just have to do it. Once you overcome that activation energy or that hump to really get music out there or start performing, go on The Voice, write a song. Sometimes it's just getting to that piano or an instrument and just writing. You won't regret it. And don't worry about what other people will think. And it sounds so cliche, but do it for yourself. You don't even have to share it, the song you write, or if you are performing and sharing it with others. It's like surround yourself with people who will support you and hype you up. But yeah, just do it for yourself.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's why I asked you. I could not have said it better. All right, ready for some burning questions?
I'm ready.
All right,
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Who would you say are some of your inspirations musically?
I would say Carole King, Sarah Bareilles, Joni Mitchell, Stevie Nicks, Taylor Swift, all those amazing women.
They are all queens. Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
If you are a crayon, what color would you be and why?
Ooh. Okay, would be. This is the first thing that popped in my head, so I'm just gonna go with it. I feel like I would be a pastel yellow crayon because you need it for the sunshine. It sounds so stupid. You need it for the sunshine. Yellow, just like, it's versatile. And I just have been kind of embodying yellow. Oh, and blue and yellow Michigan colors. So there you go.
You still have to always call back your school.
Yeah, I was going to call back my alma mater for sure.
Alma mater. Yep. Most definitely. Would you rather have 10 fingers on one hand or 10 toes on one foot?
God, I feel like 10 toes on one foot because I want to still be able to hold things and play instruments and my hand. Yeah, I think
that was mine too, because I thought to myself when I wrote that down, I said, you know what?
Yeah.
Not many people are going to see my feet. So
no, most won't. Like I'll just put socks over it and maybe get a custom shoe or something.
Exactly.
And just rock with it. Exactly.
I couldn't walk around looking like that. I would look insane.
No, absolutely not. No. So I'll keep my hands as is, but then we can have a situation happening.
That's right. That very few people need to know about.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No.
If you were stranded on an island, what is one item that you would bring?
Ooh. I'm so stupid and practical. I would think a lighter or something, whatever. That'd be my survivor item. But actually, I would bring my phone.
Okay.
So I could get off the island.
But what if it dies?
If it dies, maybe I'll get one of those solar battery chargers.
But then that's a second item.
That is the second item. Maybe it can be attached to the phone. We'll call it a 2-in-1.
You know what? Because this is hypothetical, we'll sit there and say that it was already attached to the phone.
Yes, thank you.
When you got stranded. There you go. Exactly. I like it. What conspiracy theory do you most believe in?
Ooh. Okay, there was a conspiracy theory about the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese that it's old slices put together to create one big pizza because the slices are different sizes when you go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh no.
And why are they different sizes? I'm
going to have to look that up. I'm writing that down. So Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese pizza
slices.
That was the first one that came to mind.
No,
yeah,
I'm going to look that up.
The slices are different sizes, and it's concerning.
Oh my gosh, that makes total sense. I can totally see them going ahead and saying, well, this party only ate 3 slices, and this one ate 2, and this one ate 1, so we're just going to, oh my goodness. Yes. You know what? This is probably why I have such a great immune system now, is because my dad used to take us to Chuck E. Cheese all the time.
Oh, you and me both. I went to Chuck E. Cheese a lot as a kid, and this is actually kind of I ended up developing an irrational fear of Chuck E. Cheese. I had a terrifying fear as a child of people in costumes, so
yes.
Mascots, Chuck E. Cheese, and this was after I had my birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese, maybe before the age of 5, and then after I would I had nightmares about him. Anyway, that's really.
I totally agree. I have a fear of Chuck E. Cheese for multiple reasons.
Yes.
My father, so my folks were split, and there were 5 of us, all boys. My father would take us to Chuck E. Cheese, all of us, for our birthdays. Yeah. Now, other than the cool glow-in-the-dark thing that you would get on your hand to prove that you're a kid,
yep.
Most of my experiences that I remember are actually slightly terrifying. I remember the ticket machine looking mad when I would put the thing in, and it never really properly counted your tickets anyways. That was number one.
Never.
You're right. The animatronic robot.
Creepy.
Terrifying.
Yes. Creepy.
Pizza, terrible. And then I've got one more horrific story. This is a true story, okay?
Oh, no.
Absolutely disgusting. So I was in the ball pit. I think you can know where this is going now.
Yep.
And so sure. I've seen shoes there. I've seen missing
Oh, no.
teeth.
Yep.
I put my hand back,
No, you
and
didn't.
I did. I did. I put my hand back, and all of a sudden, I take it out. Because I was picking up a ball. That's what it was. I threw it at my cousin and my brother. My brother gets whacked in the face, and I had picked up a dirty diaper, and it whacked my brother right in the face. And I just remember he was a few years older than me, and he wailed on me. He beat me up because he was so disgusted and horrified and upset. And I think I was like 9 or 10 at the time, and he was maybe 12, 13. Because my dad, I don't know why he would do this, but he would take all 5 of us, even though my brother was 13, I was like 10, the other one was 7. If the 5-year-old had a birthday, he would take us. So it was just like, Yep.
Wow.
Horrific story. I know.
Horrifying, but I know you're not the only one who's had a horrifying story like that. Like, that's just like how it goes over there. It's so rough.
There's no rules at Chuck E. Cheese. It's the Wild West.
No, it is the Wild West at Chuck E. Cheese. That's so true. So yeah, look into the pizza conspiracy because it's something.
I love that we just went down that rabbit hole. I do.
Me too. Me too.
The last question is about pizza. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, because I don't like pineapple.
Okay, you know what?
Like in general.
I thought we were best friends.
I know.
We could still be best friends. Okay.
I know. Please be my friend. I'm very weird. I actually don't like. I like it in smoothies, but like if I were to just bite into a pineapple, like I won't eat it.
Really, smoothies? Well, I guess that makes sense because it's being
a texture
masked.
thing. Yeah.
Yes, I get that. All right.
Thanks. I'm glad you forgive me.
I do.
Okay, good.
Chat pack. Are you ready? Chat pack for kids.
Ready.
Okay. Because we like to stay young at heart here on the Reyes Reflection.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we do.
All right. Oh my goodness, no way. This question just says, what if a banana tasted like a pineapple? But because you don't like pineapple, I'm getting rid of this.
Yeah,
I'm getting rid of that. Yeah, you know what?
You know the answer.
That's right. We don't need to ask that question.
No.
Okay. Oh, here we go. If you could safely take a ride on the back of any wild animal, which animal would you like to most ride?
Ooh,
that's pretty cool. That's a cool question.
That's actually a great question. I really love beluga whales of all animals because there's this kid's song called Baby Beluga that was written by Rafi. Yeah, you know the song? Yeah. And it's this really adorable song about baby belugas, and they've become my favorite animal. And so if I could just be like gliding through the ocean with a whale, like that would be amazing.
That would be, and it would be majestic to just see.
It would be unbelievably majestic, and just like so. And they're so intelligent and like kind animals. I'd love to be with the belugas. So
wait, which whale is the one that's aggressive? There is a whale, isn't there?
The killer whale, maybe.
Wait, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think that it actually is called the killer whale. Yes.
Okay, you know what? I hate that this is gonna be up and not edited out. So there you go. I look like a fool. There you go. It happens.
No.
Plug in your socials. Where can people find you, follow you, listen to you, all that jazz? You know, if you didn't say plug in your socials, that would actually sound kind of creepy. Where can people find you, follow you, listen to you? But plug in the socials.
That's today's world. Yeah. My Instagram is at Alison Albrecht. My TikTok is Alison_Albrecht, and you can look me up on Spotify. I've got videos on YouTube, and I'm going to be releasing a lot more music soon. So definitely check it out.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm a fan for life now. Well, Alison, thank you so much for doing this. You are sworn in as a friend of the show. This is a secret public organization of the RR Pod, okay? And which is basically like being an Avenger. And so now look at this. You are officially in. You are a friend of the show forever.
I'm honored. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Of course. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow the socials. And as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah, and I love you, and I love you. What's up, everybody? Nathanael Reyes here, and get this. I am working with a company that Mark Cuban invested in. It is Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare Skin Products. You can go ahead and create your own bundle today and use promo code Reyes Reflection to save 20%. Again, Reyes Reflection to save 20%. Get yours today. What's your discipline? In life, everything matters. So show up every day, even when it's hard. Jocko Fuel uses clean fuel with raw ingredients from supplements, protein shakes, energy drinks, and more. Get yours today by going to Jocko Fuel website and enter promo code Reyes Reflection to get 10% off your order. Again, Reyes Reflection, 10% off your order. At Jocko Fuel, there is no shortcut.